But Johnny, let's end the podcast looking at a little gaming, looking at a little Superman.
Okay,
and
good.
what we are looking
You just
at
looked at me
is,
like, why'd you even hum
so
that?
Rocksteady there's rumors that Rocksteady will announce that they will have an open world Superman game. And here's all the details I'll get out of the way. So according to the article, the latest iteration of this rumor comes from an anonymous 4chan post. And I like how right after it goes, so yes, there's reason enough to be skeptical right there.
Oh, I am.
The poster then claims the game will be officially unveiled. I did that again. Before the podcast, I said unveiled when it's unveiled.
No more baby cows.
A couple of weeks before E3, which will take place June 12th through the 14th.
Spoilers. Baby cow is veal.
And offering the following details about the gameplay. So here's all the details that the post said. Number 1, made by Rocksteady. Number 2, it's going to have the Unreal Engine 4. Here's a big one. It's going to be an open world metropolis. Big open world metropolis, about 3 times the size of Arkham Knight with a lot more buildings. You're not going to be able to play as Clark Kent. The main villain's going to be Brainiac. It'll be a nerfed Superman, so think TAS, the animated series Superman levels. Semi-destructible environments. Think Arkham Knight. No buildings falling over.
Aww.
Combat system integrates the flying, kind of like DBZ. You can punch someone, then zoom towards them and repeat. It is set within the Arkhamverse, and tons of Easter eggs into Superman's lore and some to the events that took place in Batman Arkham franchise. And then it also has a picture at the very bottom of what Superman could look like in the game, and I will put this article down below in the description. So, Johnny, with all that being said, with it being a 4chan post, with all this information about the game being kind of leaked in a sense, what are your thoughts with this game, and what could we expect from a Rocksteady open world Superman game?
Well, ignoring the fact that it's a 4chan post.
Exactly. For the sake of argument, let's ignore that. Let's pretend it's real.
Let's ignore that post.
Let's pretend it's real.
The one thing I really like I've said this before the podcast too. I like that DBZ not gameplay, but that aspect that they're pulling into it. Because I play the DBZ fighters. I don't know if you have.
I have not yet.
Okay, so to ruin it for Ricky's gameplay.
Go ahead. I've seen clips.
I know.
Of
I'm just messing with you. What you get to do is you get to, when you're in the arena, you're not just flying like in most video games where you kind of left, right, and forward. It's really hard to grasp the concept right off the bat, because I played with some guys. I did play versus some people that I know,
and I'm watching it now.
It's hard to do.
Is it a different mode than the side-to-side scroller?
Yeah, no, it's not side to side.
Okay,
it's basically, think of the arena, so the side scroll arena thing. If you can go in, not just like you've played at least a little bit of damn, what was the game called? Soul Calibur with us before? So you know how you could go left, like you can go in
okay, so it's like a circle almost.
You can go in the circle.
Okay.
But now there's also the up and down aspect where you can fly, and that was so much harder to grasp, because now you have that 3D modeling type thing you can do. And now this is going to sound odd. Guess who I was winning with versus my friends?
Majin Buu?
No.
Oh, Krillin.
Krillin. I was winning with Krillin.
The Krillin kill count, man. That's what you got to go with.
I don't know how, but I was kicking ass with Krillin. And then we stopped playing after about 3 rounds, because it's like, okay, this is enough of this crap.
Yeah, we can't let Krillin beat us.
Well, me and the other guy being as the first time we played it, like, okay, I'm getting a little dizzy. Let's switch to something else. But I love that. to get back to the Superman thing.
Yeah.
Because you're flying around. You got a villain that can also fly. Or hell, let's say you're fighting on the ground. You knock him up in the air, Superman style. And then you can zoom up at him. And you can fight him in this literally 3-dimensional space now, as opposed to left and right, the 2D scroller, or I'm gonna say the 2.5D in a sense, because there was not really much of the up and down.
Yeah.
Whereas you can spin in that circle around each other, but now you have the aspect of way up in the air doing it. So.
And what I'm looking at right now is the thing that worries me about this is all the details seem great to me.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't like is in our lifetime, no one's done a Superman game right. Where it's like the first game that you and I in our lifetime, even though it came out about 2 years that we were born, Superman NES. I never played it.
Never played it.
My NES was basically Ninja Turtles and Galaga. Then you had one for the Sega Genesis. Yet again, never was marketed.
Never played it.
I never even knew there was a Superman as a kid for the Sega Genesis. The first one that you and I would have played, and I know I played it, you haven't, it was called Superman for the N64. That's the one that had the animated series Superman ripping open the Clark Kent with the Superman logo underneath. That game was god awful. Like the first, I didn't even get past the first stage. I remember I rented it from Blockbuster. That's how long ago this was. I rented it from Blockbuster, and the first level was teaching you how to fly and stuff, and you were flying through rings. And I was like, fuck this. And I just put it down and played. Like, you rented 2 games at the time because they only let you rent out 2. I just put it away and just played the other one that I had. Yeah. It's like, come on. Like, it was so god-awful. And then the ones that were after that was Superman Man of Steel 2002 was on the Xbox. Wasn't a great video game. And then the Superman Returns game, which I believe was on Xbox 360, and PlayStation 2, along with the Nintendo DS. Not a great game. So really, nobody has done a Superman game well in our lifetime. Yeah. So right away, that makes me weary. It makes me weary that Rocksteady is going to be able to do it well, although I did like the Arkham Knight game. Yeah, well, that's what I'm more so focusing on those aspects because, you're talking about a lot of these games that weren't done right. Look at the games we're getting right now. All the different games we're getting right now. And you, like you said, they did Arkham Knight, right? And look how good that game was. Yes, I liked Arkham Knight. I mean, just they're going along with that concept, and they said a partially destroyable world. Yes. So like, it's not going to be on the same level of Arkham Knight where my chair was falling down. That buildings are like crumbling. Yeah. But it will be a destructible environment. So I'm assuming because Brainiac's going to come in and destroy everything. Yeah, my one thought would be at least if you like shoot your laser vision and hit a building, it should do that. But they said no buildings. It's not gonna be. That's fine. That's what. As long as I get like the glass shattering as I as I do my laser beam across it. That's really all I'm looking for. Yeah. So I mean, all the aspects you described all sound pretty good. Again, ignoring that this is a 4chan one because I do want to take that into consideration. I do want to reiterate this. I love all the sounds of this gameplay. Again, a partially destroyable world, 3 times the size of Arkham Knight, and that's only fair because now you can fly around. Arkham Knight's like big. It was big. It was a huge open. It was bigger than Arkham Asylum, bigger than Arkham City, and this is going to be like. I get that you have to make it that big because Batman can. Batman's basically like. Well, I was going to say it's basically like Spider-Man. Yeah. Where Batman can grapple things, but in like maybe swing every once in a while. But Batman's not flying around. Yeah, like, which is... Batman's flying was, I'm going to run off this building and glide. And then fall and then glide. And then fall and then glide. And then I got to grapple back up. Exactly. And that was the best you got for flying. With Superman, now that you can fly... With some momentum behind it. Yeah, exactly. You can fly. So, I mean, you... have to have that bigger world. I can fly. I can fly. I can fly. I can sing. Well, I was thinking more Peter Pan.
Oh, I was thinking.
You were thinking Dr. Zayas from Simpsons.
Yes, I was.
Go on with what you were saying.
Because you were going more of that tone than the Peter Pan one. No, I like that. I'm trying to remember the other things you mentioned about it so I can give more insight. But those are the two main ones I like that hit, like, I guess, hit my eye would be the phrase, or caught my attention.
And that's the thing with Rocksteady being the one developing this. Yeah. That makes me, what's the word I'm looking for? Positive. Like, that makes me positive with it because.
Hopeful.
So there's 4 Arkham games.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight were all Rocksteady. Arkham Origins, which was that third one in between City and Knight, that was done by WB Montreal. And that was the one that it was good, but it wasn't great. Whereas Arkham Knight and the rest of them, I was like, holy crap, this is a great game.
Yeah.
And that is like, I like it because if it's going to be like the Arkham games, we're going to see a darker Superman, and it's going to be more real.
Yeah.
The thing that's also interesting is that Brainiac is going to be the villain, kind of like what it kind of goes off of what you were saying last week when we talked about a Man of Steel 2 story.
So I can read the future, just the wrong kind.
What would you think of the, like, how would the game and story work with Brainiac as your villain, and would you even include Lex Luthor at all? Maybe like at the end to tease a second game.
Yeah, end to tease a second game. Maybe some cutscenes here and there with that. But I would more
Easter eggs around. Maybe Lex Luthor's president, and you see, or running for president, and you see like in the background not like
I wouldn't run him for president yet.
You wouldn't?
No, because I mean you got it.
Or like
I get it.
Or is it like the Ace sign in Batman where it's like you see Ace Chemicals over there?
Yeah.
You just see a building that says LexCorp.
I would say do it that way because you have to. I get it. You and I and a lot of people know who Lex Luthor is. Yada yada yada. You have to introduce him to this world. You don't just pop him in as Lex Luthor running for president. You incorporate LexCorp. Maybe there's little side missions of like finding out what Lex Luthor's up to.
Because that was the beautiful thing about Arkham, the Arkham games, especially like I'm thinking more Arkham City because Arkham Asylum was very linear because Batman was getting myself what's the word I'm looking for? Committed to Arkham Asylum as Bruce Wayne so that I can help out everything and defeat the Joker in Arkham. Whereas Arkham City was more of like, hey, I've got my main missions, but I've got these side quests with the littler villains all around as well.
Yeah, which is what my thought would be is like, because you're not going to just have it blatantly Brainiac. You're going to do other smaller villains maybe.
Yeah.
Slowly bringing in Brainiac, have like maybe his drones once in a while, like Superman not knowing what these drones are for exactly.
And true, the question is I expect them to do the same, but I don't expect them to do as many because Superman doesn't have as many notable villains as Batman did.
I know he doesn't have as many notable, which is why you make them
like even like Hush, like it's not noticeable, but Batman has a ton. Like Batman's like
the gallery, like you said, the Spider-Man
like
of Marvel
Rogues
universe,
is what I was
the
gonna
Rogues,
say, yeah.
But they both have the two of them have a gallery. Superman, not so much. So I mean, like it would be lesser things like finding out little shit that LexCorp is up to. Maybe eventually throw Lex Luthor in halfway in the middle of it, just to make him as this is a potential villain down the line, but he's just kind of a troublemaker at this time.
Kind of like how in like I think Arkham City, where it was like at first it's you've got this, but then the storyline changes and you're with Natalia and you fight Ra's al Ghul, but then at the end it's like, okay, we're coming back to the main villain, which was like the Penguin, I believe. Or like there was a side part where it's like, man, I got to get this thing from Dr. Freeze, to where it's like you're getting a few villains, but the main villain is this guy.
Yeah. So
or will it be an Arkham Knight thing where the Arkham Knight is basically he's the main villain all the way through?
I think I would go with the other one first because you don't want to just like have the whole thing harp on Brainiac and just throw the thunder right in there right in the beginning. I would want something that like starts me off. That way also you can get used to some of your lesser villains, and you can get used to being Superman. And then as things progress, they get harder. Eventually at the very end, final thing before you finish this game, you have to fight Brainiac finally.
Also, what do you think of when they say can't play as Clark Kent? Do you think can't play as Clark Kent, or is it Superboy? Like, is it a different Superman?
No,
I would
Superman.
think that it's like it's Superman, but you're not going to be walking around as Clark
Yeah,
Kent.
you're not going to be going to the Daily Bugle to play as play as Clark Kent and be in disguise. No, you're not going to do any of that. I think that's what they mean.
You mean the Daily Planet?
Yeah, whatever.
I had to look it up really quick because I'm like, I think I made that.
I think I made the opposite mistake you usually do.
You're a Marvel guy, though. I usually always say the Daily Planet.
Exactly, and I did the opposite mistake you make.
You said the
I
Daily
said
Bugle.
the Daily Bugle.
Give me some pictures of that Superman. I need pictures of Superman.
He's
people.
a menace.
J. Jonah Jameson in the DC universe. He technically is. He's Commissioner Gordon now. But any final thoughts on this as a whole about this game? Really, the timeline is, so if I go back to it, it says that the game will be officially unveiled a couple weeks before E3.
Ooh.
So E3 is going to be June 12th, which right at this moment we sit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks from this Tuesday. So this upcoming Tuesday, as we record this on May 6th, 5 weeks from this Tuesday will be when E3 happens.
Wow.
I'll ask you this. Any final thoughts? And in those couple weeks, do you think it's 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before? When do you think, if this is coming, do we see them say, Superman game, here you go? We're 5 weeks away right now.
Yeah.
Think about that.
You don't think they're just going to wait till E3 to do that?
Do you think they would? Because, yet again, the post isn't gospel.
Yeah, exactly.
It says, a couple weeks. Do you think they wait all the way until E3?
I mean, I would. It'd be a decent, release to get the hype because, I mean, superhero movies are the thing right now.
Or at least get a teaser out there for, at E3.
Yeah.
To be prepared for, a Superman game.
Yeah, that's all you need. It's hey, guys, be prepared for a Superman game. We're working on one right now.
Any final thoughts you got with this one?
No, I like the idea of what was talked about. It's too bad it was coming from a 4chan.
I can't wait until if this is actually good.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of integrate Batman and Superman because it's going to be a part of the Arkhamverse.
Yeah.
And we can kind of get the best of both kind of
eventually
together. Yeah. Maybe get a Flash game in the future.
That'd be fun.
Green Lantern, kind of get all these different games going on. I think that'd be and kind of piece them together into a video game universe because Marvel started. It's kind of the thing.
It's a
to make your own.
Everything
universe.
needs a universe.
Any final things before we wrap this up?
No, like I said, it sounds like a fun game. Hopefully, it's actually true and not just one of those 4chan
trolls.
Trolls, exactly.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below about the Rocksteady Superman game. Are you hyped? Do you hope it's coming true, or are you skeptic because every Superman game in your life has been terrible and you're like, I don't want another bad Superman game. I'd rather just not have one at all. Let us know what you think. Here at the end of the podcast, we'll do a little housekeeping. Number one, if you liked what you heard, liked what you listened to, make sure to check out patreon.com. Thank you for all of our patrons who support us on Patreon. That link down below in the description. Make sure to check out our store. Link also in the description to get yourself an MVP t-shirt. MostValuablePodcast.com. That's where you're going to catch everything for Rick and Johnny and everything for MVP each and every day. And last but not least, make sure to go on Apple Podcasts and Apple iTunes and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us, and it helps other people know that, hey, this is a podcast that they should be listening to. I want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.